know who it is. You know what it is. It's the Sizzle on Iron Skillet Radio, Iron Skillet Television. Yo, the Sizzle is where community and sports meet. We are the talk of the 219. You know who's in the building. Jay Sizzle.
What's up, bro?
Rich Sizzle.
Hola! Happy Cinco de Mayo!
And I'm G Sizzle. We are the Sizzle Boys, and we are in the building. Gentlemen, before we get started, let's tell our listeners about the word of the day. What's the word of the day? The word of the day today is tufa. Tufa. T-U-F-A. Do you know what tufa means, gentlemen?
No, but I'm sure you're going to tell us.
Oh!
2 for 1.
2 for 1, yes, sir. The tufa is the 2 for 1. You get 2 podcasts for 1 show. You get 2 burgers for $1. You get 2 chicks for 1. Oh, well.
Whoa.
Hold on now.
It's a children's show now.
Oh, okay.
Children's show.
Well, we'll do the tufa later. We'll do the tufa after dark later. All right, brothers, let's roll right into it. You know what it is. It's the hard word. And we're still talking about The Last Dance. This is our part 3 in segment. So we're talking about what's going on with Michael Jordan, the Bulls, Chicago, Jerry Reinsdorf, Jerry Krause, any other Jerrys we know. Is Jerry Springer in this? I don't know. But we're going to find out today. We're going to talk about it here on The Sizzle. He was in it, or was he on it?
And so was Jerry Seinfeld.
Wow.
Last Dance.
Last Dance, let's do it. All right, gentlemen, let's get right into it. Let's jump right into it. So we're up to date and we're going through. If you haven't picked up our podcast, if you haven't listened to them, if you haven't gone on YouTube, first of all, shame on you. Second of all, it's not that hard. Double shame, triple shame. You get the 2 for shame. You get 2 for not going and doing what you're supposed to do, your due diligence. But listen, Jay Sizzle, let's just roll it out. What are your thoughts on the latest installment of the miniseries, The Last Dance?
Man, I'm just enjoying every minute of this thing. But what I'm really enjoying right now is the in-depth behind-the-scenes stuff you're getting. Especially, you know what the part I really like was the part about the Dream Team. Mm-hmm. How Michael Jordan was the actual leader of the Dream Team. You would think because of Larry Bird, because of Magic, those guys would have been even though they're the elder statesmen, they sort of were following Michael Jordan's lead. Mm-hmm. And you could tell just how it seems. I don't know if it's respect or fear about Michael Jordan, because these guys were bowing down and they're still bowing down to Jordan right now. I don't know if it's because he's worth $2 billion or they think he might lace up them old 1991 sneakers on and come on and dunk on them again. So it's an amazing thing to see just how much power Michael Jordan had in the NBA.
True, it is. It's phenomenal that Isiah Thomas still has Michael Jordan living in space in his head, rent free. I mean, you can't. It's amazing. You can't get anywhere without Isiah talking about MJ. But let me ask you, since you watched it and you took it in, Rich Sizzle, what are your thoughts of the last installment of The Last Dance?
I absolutely love the coverage of that 93 season. Mm-hmm. I mean, you want to talk about a complete team to go against the Bulls, that 93 Suns team. You have no idea if you didn't live that. I mean, we're talking about Charles Barkley in his prime. And I'm not even talking about like, it's just Charles Barkley. No, I mean a dominant Charles Barkley, a Kevin Johnson, a Dan Marley, a Cedric Ceballos. That team was about as most complete as you can ever discuss, going up against the Bulls. And they had home court advantage. I mean, that was great footage, great backdrop, great story, how they came in there and just completely dominated with just not much to really talk about. You had Charles Barkley say, hey, look here, I never played against a guy that I never thought that I said, look, this guy's better than me. That was great recording, great talk. Absolutely.
Yeah, it was something that was great. But, there's one person who wasn't too thrilled with the whole idea of The Last Dance and who isn't very enamored with Michael Jordan. And that would be Craig Hodges, former Bulls. Craig Hodges has been criticizing not only Michael Jordan, but the documentary itself, The Last Dance. So, Rich, let me ask you, does he have the right to be upset about this documentary?
Politically, sure. I mean, everybody wants Michael Jordan to run for president, but basketball wise, skill wise, absolutely not. I mean, it's not like he really made any clutch shots. Let me try to remember. In that show, did he make any shots? Did he shoot the ball? I don't remember.
He shot the ball. And in fact, I think at that point was one of those years was one of the years he led in 3-point shooting, and he won the 3-point shooting contest, correct?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. We're talking about the All-Star game. Can you tell me where he shot a ball in the playoffs?
Did he get on the floor in the playoffs?
Yeah. You let me know. I remember seeing John Paxson, but I don't remember Craig Hodges.
Okay. Valid point. So, Jay Sizzle, let me ask you quickly, is Craig Hodges owed an explanation for his omission from the documentary?
Absolutely not. He was omitted because he omitted himself. Mm-hmm. He's the one who went after Michael Jordan because Michael Jordan wouldn't have a political stance. Craig Hodges is the one that when the Bulls went to the White House, he went there with a dashiki on and handed. There's no problem with him standing up for what he thinks is right. But my whole thing is when you stand up for what you think is right, don't be upset because somebody else doesn't stand up with you. You need to be standing on your own square. And I think a lot of this is that Craig Hodges feels like he got ostracized after 10 years because of his political views that no other than 28 or 29 teams in the NBA picked him up. Have we figured out maybe that Craig Hodges, even though he's a rich East grad, probably couldn't play defense and he was too much of a liability on the floor? So it's an issue that I think right now that even Craig Hodges was talking about. He was upset about Michael Jordan talking about the cocaine circus and other personal business at the beginning of the Last Dance. Well, if the truth is the truth, the truth shall set you free. If these guys were out here doing what they were doing and Michael Jordan wasn't no part of that, then why does he need to keep his mouth shut? So I think with Craig Hodges, I think it's just some sour grapes. He shouldn't have been had a part in this because he didn't deserve one.
I mean, that's as clear as I can see. I did see his comments where he said that he had to explain, or someone now as an adult has to explain to their children about the cocaine circus. I don't know what he really needed to explain.
Then don't do it. Then don't do it. If you're out doing these type of things, I mean, we all know if you commit a murder when you're 25 years old, you still got you're still a felon at 45. You know what I'm saying? Just because 20 years went by, that doesn't stop from what went on. If you, and I know that's an extreme example, but what I'm just saying is that if these are the things that you did, you guys were smoking before games, running around, doing what you were supposed to do, drinking beers at halftime, and you get called out on it, too bad. You shouldn't have been doing it.
But you know what? The comment about the cocaine circus was about as much time as a fancy restaurant goes when they go and they say, hey, would you like something to drink? Here's a glass of water. Okay, here we go. Would you like an appetizer? Here's your appetizer. What's your main course meal and what's your dessert? And then they say, after all said and done, then they serve you some bread. That's all that was. Nobody really talks about the bread anymore. I mean, come on, Craig. Really? Come on, Craig. Really, Craig?
I think Craig is feeling it. He's still probably at home watching Friday, feeling some kind of way. Maybe he wants to be in the new Friday.
Yeah.
Friday after Friday.
The last Friday.
You know, can you have a last Friday after the death of John Witherspoon? Can there actually be a last Friday?
I guess you got to stop somewhere.
Yeah, I wonder, would you go to see that movie now? Because John Witherspoon was such an integral part of that series and that the way that those stories played out. What story now could you tell? Oh, you could tell his funeral story.
Well, I mean, John, I mean, you got to look at Ice Cube as kind of like maybe the Michael Jordan, and if you can get Chris Tucker in there, the Scottie Pippen. So, I mean, they got a story to tell. Maybe. I'm gonna go watch it if they haven't.
Jay Sizzle, are you going to watch the next Friday after the last Friday, the next Friday again?
As long as Chris Tucker is in there. Look, I think Chris Tucker was more important in the movie than Ice Cube, to tell you the honest truth. You know what I'm saying? I really believe that. He was the funny part of it. He kept the thing moving. Ice Cube always played the same role, whether it was Triple X, whether it was, what was that movie? It was a cookout or something, whatever he was doing. It's always the same exact guy. He never changed anything different. With that movie with Kevin Hart, whatever that was, I forgot that was. It's the same exact guy. You know, and right along. And guess what? Ice Cube wasn't a gangster. So anyway, you know what I'm saying? But he's getting paid for playing the part. So
he did beat up Debo though.
Well, he did. Yeah. But they paid Debo to lay down. That's what it was in the movie. Can you imagine what Tiny Lester would have done to Ice Cube in the real life? You know what I'm saying?
Now, let's take this back, though. One of the most integral players I thought in Friday had to be Nia Long.
Ooh.
Well, she's everybody's integral player. Hey, she is one of those actresses that don't really get the credit that she deserves.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. And she didn't get the credit she deserved for wearing a gray sweatsuit and it fitting and working out in this gray sweatsuit this whole time. I think she just filmed in a gray sweatsuit.
This is not fair. My wife is in the back room somewhere, and she's probably listening. I can't even. Go ahead, Jay. I'm sorry. I can't even.
Don't do it, bro. Don't do it.
Hey, I'm gonna tell you what she was even referring. Remember that movie with Whoopi Goldberg, and that she was in the movie when she was riding around on the scooter, and she was Whoopi Goldberg's daughter.
Was that Eddie?
Yeah, it was Nia Long. No, it was Nia Long. And dude, it's rough. What's love got to do with it? All of them, you know what I'm saying? Love Jones. Wasn't it Love Jones?
Yes.
Love Jones.
Goldberg's daughter was Love Jones, was she?
She was Whoopi Goldberg's daughter.
She was in Love Jones.
Yeah, she was in Love Jones.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but she doesn't get the just due. I think Megan Good sort of took her space a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Man. But I think so. I think she did. She does. Nia Long. She needs to be up. She's not on the Mount Rushmore, but she at least should be down there, selling tickets to the event.
Megan Good was cool, but Nia Long was like sexy with class, though. I mean, it was.
Yeah. You never looked at her being trashy. You know what I'm saying?
Personal disclosure. I think you just have a thing for Megan Good. I think you do. I think you're not telling the people the truth.
What?
And who doesn't live your truth?
Who doesn't have a thing for Megan Good?
Not me. Not me. I mean, I'm trying to think, but I don't know.
Megan Good or Nia Long, I wouldn't turn either one of them down. So
yeah, there you go.
Didn't you say somebody was in the other room?
Here comes the frying pan. Can you hit the smack? Hit the smack button, please. There you go.
Yeah. It could happen. It could be real. Yeah. We could be sitting here talking to Rich Sizzle, and all of a sudden, it just would be a fire. It would be he took it again. You'd be like, no, Rich, no, and then you hit it again.
Yeah.
Now I tell you what, the only thing you don't want to hear is
not that.
So let's move right along to the next topic. Okay, so after watching this docuseries, this mini-series, and what you've seen so far, do you or have you or could you assess any blame in anything that you've seen so far to Jerry Reinsdorf? And Jay, I'm going to ask you first, what do you assess as his role in the demise of the Bulls?
Well, okay. First thing and foremost, Jerry Reinsdorf is a businessman. When he bought the Bulls were a lowly franchise. Mm-hmm. And he, with that front office, built the Bulls up to $1 billion company. Mm-hmm. Now, he is beholden to his shareholders. That's who he's beholden to. He put Jerry Krause out in front of him and let him do his bidding and paid him well to do it. At any point in time, did Jerry Reinsdorf want or could have stopped or kept the Bulls together? Probably could. But you still were looking at an aging ball club. And let's think about it. Outside of Scottie Pippen, who else really made a big contributing factor in the NBA after they left the Bulls? You know, so, I mean, you know, you got to think about it that way. Did anybody else lead their team to a championship? Anything else like that? So what I'm saying to you is that maybe, and I hate to say it because I'm a Bulls fan, maybe they looked at this, maybe they could have won another year longer. Maybe they could have had a chance at another championship. But here's the thing about it, like I said before, free agency changed on Jerry Krause. And in that free agency period, before they made the change, if you had the money, you could match any offer out there. You can keep your player there if you had the most cash. The Bulls had the most cash. All of a sudden, free agency change, and a player could really, a free agent could pick and go where he wanted to go. And that was a big thing that changed. Jerry Krause got caught there, and all of a sudden you saw the Bulls get scattered all over the place. And that's what happened. I think that's why Jerry Krause acted the way he did. He's like, I got you. I can hold you here, Toby. You can't go nowhere. You know what I'm saying? And then once he saw that the slaves could get off the plantation, Juneteenth had came around and they heard about it. You know what I'm saying? You're like, who told the slaves they was free? And I think that's what went on.
So we have assessed after watching the docuseries Last Dance that Jerry Krause was the landholder for Reinsdorf, who was the massa who told them that Toby and the rest of them could not leave. That is what we've learned from this dance. So I'm going to ask you, Rich Sizzle.
Oh no!
After that amazing history lesson, thank you, Jay Sizzle. Do you assess any blame to Jerry Reinsdorf for the demise of the Chicago Bulls?
What demise? Oh, let me stop you there. What demise are we talking about? I mean, we're talking about when we look at the Last Dance, we're talking about the second of the repeats. There is no demise there. Talking about that is the ride off to the sunset. And I think that's something that Krause and Reinsdorf are kind of going to get into later on. But Jerry Reinsdorf is that politician. Mm-hmm. That guy, man, he is that behind the scenes guy. It's like he knows, everybody in the building knows that, hey, we can't top this. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to secure my legacy, and I'm not going to make myself look out to be the bad guy. So I'm just going to go along and let Jay Krause be the villain in this situation. I mean, what can you really do against Father Time is the question. I mean, when it's all said and done, Father Time is the murder of all. If you go and you look at and you listen to the new Apollo movies, and that's what Rocky said. He's like, Father Time is what killed me and what killed Apollo. You know, I mean, what can you really go beyond that? So I think Reinsdorf understood that. That's why he kind of stayed in the background. He's like, there's a chessboard. It's like, hey, the game is already set. There's nothing I can really do. We've gotten here. There has to be a final ending. And who wants a climatic dramatization drop-off when you can have a happy ending? And I think that's what we really have here with The Last Dance. And what they call The Last Dance. We have a happy ending here, in my opinion.
Well, we do have an ending. I don't know how happy it is for a lot of people. We just said Craig Hodges was not happy. We do know Jason Caffey was happy. He said that Michael Jordan helped to save his life. But if we put it into a cinematic theme, let's think about it. I just saw Rambo, The Last Blood. And to refute your point, Rich Sizzle, Father Time is not stopping Sylvester Stallone. He is going to make at least 20 more of these Rambos. Here's the spoiler alert, so it's out there. If you haven't seen this, if you haven't seen him, I don't know what Last Blood they were talking about. I think it was a double entendre. So, Rich Sizzle, Have you seen Rambo: The Last Blood?
Okay, let me help you out. First of
Okay.
all, I haven't seen any Rambos. All right.
How dare you? How dare you? Shame on you. Double shame on you. In fact, you might have to leave the feed now. You might just have to. You might have to go.
To help my claim, I've seen all the Predators. I've seen all the Terminators. You know,
But that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about Rambo. John Rambo, a man who served his country like Michael Jordan served the Bulls. He went out and he decided to fight for his country and fight for his freedom. That is what Michael Jordan did.
I am talking about Rambo. I am talking about, I'm sorry, The Last Dance, the Bulls.
Yes.
Here's a fun fact for you. If you go and look at sports history, how many teams have won 3 in a row?
That's a good one.
Now,
Jay Sizzle, how many teams have won 3 in a row?
How many teams won 3 in a row, left, took a little small hiatus, and won 3 more in a row?
Wow.
And that's where I'm going at with this happy ending. It's not a we didn't repeat like the Pistons and the 80s Celtics and things like that, or even more this current era of the Warriors. We won 3 in a row. We took a break, won 3 more in a row. How many teams in sports history did the Patriots ever win 3 in a row?
No.
I'll wait. I don't think they did. And they're supposed to be the dynasty of football when it's all said and done. Did any baseball teams do it like that? I'll wait. Did any hockey teams do it like that? I'll wait.
Well, I know one who did.
Here's crickets.
That I think the Chicago Wolves were champions. Not champions, not champions. The Wolves, yes.
Yeah, they're not the Blackhawks, though.
Well, the Blackhawks did win championships. I mean, you have to give them their due that they didn't do it in the Bulls way, but they've won a few of them.
But that
again,
is what separates the men from the legends, is when you can do it back to back, and when you can do it back to back to back. And I mean, they did it twice. I mean,
know what that means?
Then done. Let me ask you this for all these millennial fans and out there: Has LeBron James ever won 3 in a row?
No, but LeBron James has been to 5 straight.
So how many has he lost?
How many did he win? Did he win 3 in a row?
That's a good question.
And if he don't get back this year, he ain't going back because the Warriors are going to be ready in the West for him. That's why he don't care. LeBron doesn't matter who is going to play. He'll play the Little Sisters of the Poor for the championship right now. But that just shows you he's just not that killer that Jordan was.
Yeah, but my point is they did 3 in a row twice.
Yeah.
Right. They did. You know what that means? They got a twofer.
A threefer.
They got the twofer. Yeah. They got the twofer. Yes. So no, you're not gonna get me to do it. You're not gonna get me to do it because I was gonna say extra Grande. No,
wow.
Wow, that would don't okay, well, fine. I won't do it.
Do it.
Yeah, well, I was gonna do it. I was going to do it. So all right. Let me ask this question as we get ready to wrap up. Rich Sizzle, what are you expecting from the next episodes, the next 2 installments of the Bulls Last Dance?
Oh man, you gotta have a downfall. You gotta have that plateau. And as much as I dread hearing about it from a personal perspective, as a man who had a father and who passed away, you've got to talk about that moment in Michael Jordan's history and how much of an impact that had to play with his 3rd championship season, and then just the unexpected happening of his father. and why he had to step away from the game. I think that has just as much to do with the Bulls' legacy as anything else. Because, like I said, I just talked about 3 in a row, twice. There was a 93, the 94. Then the 95. Here I'm back, but I'm not at full strength. And then the 96 through 98. But that impact, we all remember. Hey, he was murdered. This isn't. He just died of old age. I mean, this was a dramatic incident that impacted everybody. It's like, wait a minute, this guy died of some humbug stuff, man. They gotta talk about that. I don't know if I'm ready to really hear that. Like I said, it's gonna hit me personally because, like I said, I've lost my father. You know, he died of cancer, but I mean, it's got to be talked about in this series, along with the 96 team, kind of like the comeback year, the year of the inevitability, the greatest team, you know, in theory of all time, with the 72 wins and the championship. So I think that's what we're faced with this next episode.
That's an excellent point. That's somewhere really to focus where this segment is going. So, Jay Sizzle, let me ask you, in the next 2 episodes that are coming out, what do you think is going to be the focal point of these next 2 coming in the series?
Well, I think the thing that I'm really interested in seeing is just watching Jordan succumb to the pressure of being Michael Jordan. I think, what drove him out of basketball. And I really did not understand. Everybody wanted to be like Mike until you saw 50 people standing with microphones and cameras 2 inches away from him and wherever he went. And I tell you, I never thought I would feel bad for a guy who's worth $2 billion, but literally he was a prisoner of his own success. And so it was just interesting to see that side of him and to watch what's going to happen. He literally thought he was a great enough athlete that he was going to go out and do a Deion Sanders, do a Bo Jackson, and go play baseball. And the thing that's most amazing to me is that Jerry Reinsdorf, the businessman that he is, said, "Hey, Michael, you want to play some baseball? Come on down." You know? And he threw him a couple of hanging curveballs, and they threw him some underhand pitches, and he let him come up through the minors a little bit until he got up there and found out that he couldn't hit a 98-mile-an-hour fastball. So that thing is really interesting to me on just seeing what caused Michael Jordan to leave, and then secondly, on his return back, just to see him come back and then become a better Michael Jordan, I think, in his second three-peat. So that's what I'm looking for. It's going to be really interesting.
You know, May the 4th was yesterday, and they talk about the Star Wars evolution. And you sit here and you analyze the Michael Jordan series, and you think to yourself, like, oh my goodness, like, was this scripted from day one? Yeah. I mean, like it says, you have the having to overcome all these obstacles to being on top to, and he said it in the episodes, like, I don't want to leave past my prime. I want to leave before my prime. I want to leave with somebody saying, hey, I left on top. Well, he left, then came back, then won some more, and then left again while he was still kind of could have done a lot of damage. I mean, we left with thinking to ourselves, could the Bulls team have won 8 in a row, 10 in a row, in theory? And realistically, they might have, depending on what their supporting cast was beyond Scottie Pippen.
True. Had they reassembled and put some things together and had Jordan extend his career, maybe some more years, they could have. Or were they at the brink of it all coming to a collapse? I guess we'll never know. That's a question or something that we can talk about and discuss, but I guess none of us will ever know. And that's what makes this documentary so wonderful, is that we all believe, as Bulls fans, really, we believe they could have kept going. And I think Scottie would have stayed around, and I think you might have been able to have gotten a Horace Grant back. You could have gotten some younger players in and some supplement. You could have traded Tony Kukoc, gotten some picks. I don't know. You could have done something. But we'll never know at this point. All we know is that this is the last dance. And to quote you, Jay, as you said earlier, it was a great dance. And as Rich said, it was something that this is what you think you should go out. And this is how you should go out. You should go out on top. And as a winner and as a champion, I think this is a great way to really encapsulate everything that we saw. So, you know what, bros? We just came in for a quick hitter, and we did it. And we gave the people what they wanted to see, which is the sizzle. It's always sizzling. It's always hot. It's always fire. So before we get out of here, Rich Sizzle, give the people something.
Hey, when a man can gamble on everything except for the legalities, still come out on top. Hey, listen, I don't have nothing to say about a man that can say, I'm just going to gamble away $15,000, $20,000. They said it was like, hey, this man's $20,000, like $20 in your pocket. I got nothing.
Jay Sizzle, give the people something.
You know, every man has his limits. And I'm like Michael Jordan. At some point in time, you just can't take the pressure. That's why I refused to stand in line today at Walmart, because I was going in there to give me some Oreos, but it just wasn't worth it. And that's why I draw the line right there, not standing in line for no cookies with the creamy middle.
You could have went to Dollar Tree and got some Oreos and called it a day. Man. They're the same thing.
That's like Hydrox cookies, man. They was close, but it wasn't the same.
I will no longer entertain both of your foolishness. So I will say this. If you haven't found the Sizzle at your local podcastery, wherever you go to find podcasts, shame on you. Shame on you again, because that's the twofer. And if you are not following us on Audacity, you're not following us somewhere, you got to find our podcast, sir. It's there. The Sizzle, the talk of the 219. You see that. You know what it is. You know who it is. It's the Sizzle. We are in the building, baby. And as always, we are hot. We are on fire. Hey, it's fire in the hole, baby. You know what it is.
Fire.
Oh, you know what it is. You know
the Sizzle, man. That's Sizzle.
The Sizzle, the talk of the 219. You know what it is on Iron Skillet Radio, Iron Skillet Television. We are the Sizzle.
Hey,
yeah.